This is one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen in music. What started out as maybe a bit of a joke became less and less of a joke the more I looked into it. Now, I prefer to stay on the lighter side of content, calling other creators mildly offensive names, occasionally playing bass. But this is a video that I feel had to be made. Hold on to your dipsticks. It's gonna be a hell of a ride. So a couple of weeks ago I made a video that featured this fella, Jakamo, and there was a clip which showed him not at his best, which I decided to show the world. And I did recognise that I'd shown him in a bad light, and there were many better clips of him playing live, and so I did give him an apology in my own way. I am sorry, Davey, and you too, Jakamo. Bon gelati. No. And that's when this comment popped up about him stealing music and selling it. And this investigation got so deep that I had to swap out the usual magnifying glass for something stronger. Now, as you watch this video, I want you to decide where the point is where you start to think this is unacceptable. Because all of this is subjective, but I guarantee there will be a point where you reach that level. So let me start by saying that Jakamo is a very talented man. His playing, mixing and brightly coloured videos are a recipe for success. And in the last few years he's risen to fame, releasing signature instruments and signing up with top brands. Now, his videos are mostly pre-recorded. Nice whammy bar action here. Personally, I have no problem with that. Sometimes I do the same, and it's because my concentration face isn't as attractive when I'm trying to nail that perfect take. But he also repeats a lot of the same pre-recorded audio. Bit annoying, but again, not the worst crime in the world. I think we all have to do stuff we're not totally proud of as creators. Mine's using sexy female bassists as thumbnails. But the truth is, those videos get so many more views, and I couldn't survive without them at the moment. Anyway, I started looking into these comments and emailed a few people, and the responses I got were quite shocking. It turns out, from the very start of his social media rise, Jakamo's been using other people's compositions, not properly crediting the artist, passing them off as his own, and selling tabs and isolated tracks on his website and Patreon. Here's an early example from Jack Gardner. I've panned these comparisons left and right so you can hear the similarities. On this video, there was initially no credit to Jack, and as you can see here, he replied to every single comment apart from the one mentioning him. Here's another one from Jack. Here's one from Alex Hutchins. Look at the poor attempt of tagging the composer, buried in the YouTube Shorts description. He repeated this song while promoting his signature pickup with someone else's signature style. And again, bad tagging. Looking at the number of views, Jakamo could earn a comfortable living from the videos alone. But the real crime is that these were for sale as Jakamo's original transcriptions, with none of it going to the original source. This is especially bad when you consider that these two guitarists sell their own tabs and music scores. And some of the videos he's copying have barely any views. This one has 769. And the credit is buried in the hard-to-find YouTube Shorts description, which is clearly not translating to any views or revenue to the composer of the guitar line. Here's another one with 57 views, compared with Jakamo's 66,000, with hundreds of thousands more on other platforms. And the credit says inspired by, when the truth is it's 75% identical. And a couple of people I contacted were not happy about it at all. There are so many more examples I've found of this behaviour, and I feel this is just the tip of the iceberg. How many have I missed? Are there videos where he's used people's compositions and not credited them at all? I've been told that at this point Jakamo received some complaints and was forced to remove the transcriptions of other people's work that he was selling. But then he turned into some kind of private black market guitar tab guy. We can only assume he was doing the same but hidden away in private messages. Here's another example. At this point, I found an interview with him where he rates his own arranging.
Arranging, I think I'm pretty good at that. I will say 8.
Based on what's been uncovered so far, I reckon he couldn't arrange a prayer in a mosque. But now it's time for the main event. At this point, I imagine Jakamo's probably feeling like... Choo-choo, you bastards! But I'm sorry to say it's going to get a whole lot bloody worse with the next thing I discovered. He's going to have a face like I've just opened his fridge and pissed in the ricotta. But this isn't the end of the story with the fraudulent transcriptions. More on that in a second. Last year he released The Way She Wants, gaining hundreds of thousands of streams and views, crediting himself as the original composer and using it at the forefront of his upcoming tour of the USA. I found an earlier version from 2022, which says inspired by the vibes of Tiago Gomez, untagged. Well, I tracked down this Tiago Gomez, a musician on Instagram with only 11,000 followers, and you're not gonna believe this. Just in case you didn't hear it already, here it is side by side. I think Jakamo owes someone quite a lot of money. And in a cruel twist of fate, I've spent a week researching and making this video, and 100% of the money goes straight to Jakamo himself for the use of his music. I can't even turn monetization off, so I've no choice but to pay the man. So I would be grateful of any donations via the link in the description. And for the cherry on top of the icing on this dipstick cake, I spent $12 on the recently released Jakamo Toura songbook, only to find he's still selling other people's work. In this video, he credits YouTuber Travis Dykes, and rightly so. And even though Travis is selling his own tab of his work.
And also, if you want the tabs for this, feel free to check out my Patreon, which is linked in the description below.
So is Jakamo. The prosecution rests. What a knobhead. Now, what am I hoping the outcome will be of this video? Do I want to destroy his music career forever, derail his upcoming US tour, forcing him to sell his home and take shelter under a carefully designed structure made up of unsold Jakamo Toura signature pickups? No, but it's time to right the wrongs for all the people who haven't been properly credited or paid for all their hard work. Change your ways, Jakamo, and have a fresh start. And stop being a plonker for the good of the world of music and of content creation. It would actually be good to hear his side of the story, and if there's anything I've misunderstood or misinterpreted, I will happily take it back. Please leave your thoughts in the comments section, and thank you again for watching the channel.